Hey everybody, it's Joe from greenlightsound.com, and in today's episode we've got a look at a plug-in chain used on the bass line of none other than Sir Paul McCartney. This is the signal chain, or the plug-in chain, used in one of his recent releases. This is courtesy of Stephen Slate. He actually tweeted out a photo of the mixing session, and I kind of copied it down, made my own preset out of it, and here it is. To go through the modules one by one, they're all Slate Digital, obviously. We've got the London Virtual Tube Collection Saturator here, the Custom Series EQ, the Audified U73B compressor, the FGN, which is a Neve EQ, Hollywood from the Virtual Tube Collection, another saturator here, and then just trimmer at the end to kind of bring down the level a little bit. Here is the bass part without any of these plugins engaged. It's kind of gritty. It's got SansAmp on it already mixed with a DI signal, but here's the bass part by itself. And with this signal chain engaged. So to go through what we're actually doing here on each unit, we've got the London Virtual Tube Collection on preamp setting, pushing it a little bit, so a little bit more saturation is coming out, but the saturation knob is not turned up at all, and nothing else has changed really. Full mix, zero change in the output level. So just basically getting the sound of running through the tubes without pushing them too hard. On the EQ, the Custom Series EQ here, we've got no high pass or low pass filters going on. We've got a push of 2.28 dB at 100 Hertz. We've got nothing at the middle band, the low mid band. In the high mid band, we've got a pretty decent push of 4.3 dB at 4K. So pushing out that upper mid range bite. The compressor's pretty easy. It's on compressor, not limiter. We've got a release time of 1.2 here, pulling back the input, pushing up the output a bit just to control the amount of compression you're getting. And the compression amount's right up the middle. You're going to see about 3-4 dBs of compression or so. On the Neve EQ, nothing on that high fixed 12K shelf going on, but again, another push in the upper mid range. We've got 3.2K pushing at 3.56 dB, so a lot of upper mid range bite coming out of that signal here. And we're pulling back a little bit on 80 Hertz, so just making that low end not get too out of control. We pushed 100 here in the Custom Series EQ, and we're pulling back a little bit on the Neve because it has a little bit different shape. And this is where we also have our high pass filter going up to about 40 Hertz. That's the lowest string on the bass anyway, right about 41. So that's just cutting out the rumble from the bottom end. The saturation coming from the Hollywood Virtual Tube Collection, just a little bit of a push at 2.24. This one's on the normal channel, not pushing hard. Again, preamp, not console. Nothing else really changed on here except for the mix knob is pulled back a little bit to 80%. In combination, all those things get you a little bit of upper mid-range bite from the combination of the Custom Series EQ pushing that 4K and the Neve EQ pushing that 3.2K. You've got a little low-end boost from the Custom Series, tamed a little bit by the Neve. We've got saturation from these two, the London and Hollywood tube saturators, and compression from the U73B. I'm going to play that bass track again, this time starting with the processing off, and I'll engage the processing on and off as we go. So you can hear a big difference in that low end. It's a little bit louder too, but that's okay. In the context of the mix, if I get rid of just soloing up the bass, I've got the drums, the bass, and a few guitar parts in this mix right now. You can hear a big difference. I'll start with the bypass, and you can hear that bass part really even out when I engage it. So there it is, a processing chain from Paul McCartney's bass parts that you can take and apply to your own bass parts and use in your next mix. As long as you've got these Slate Digital plugins, you can do it. These are all part of the Slate Digital subscription, or you could buy them individually as well. Let me know if you have any comments or questions in the comment section down below. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I'll see you in the next one.